Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Bumcrack. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Hey, Lag, I was beginning to wonder about you. You were gone yesterday. I thought maybe you had gone on the vacation with Todd and Gwen. Can y'all hear me okay? Anywho, okay. I just checked to make sure I was coming through. Because yesterday I forgot to turn the mic on. Getting old. So anyway, hope everybody's having a great day. I hope everybody's temperatures are good. It's a nice 78 degrees here, and it's supposed to get up to 96 today, and actually it's supposed to be like 96, 97 the rest of the week with rain this weekend. So I need to get some stuff done outside before the weekend. So how's everybody's sales been? You selling some stuff? I had 3 things to go out: a bike seat, a tire, and what was the other thing? Oh, a Pulsar um, disc golf. I think altogether it was about $125 plus shipping. Good morning, Mike. Glad you could pop in today. So I got to get those packed up after I get finished with the show today. I've got a lot of offers from people. I've accepted a couple of them, and they haven't paid yet. And then some I haven't heard a response back because I make counter offers. Yeah, like I went to there was a bicycle shop going out of business, and they had a big auction. And I've got boxes and boxes. I've got lots of seats. I've got a lot of things like these rear gears for the back wheel. I got about 12 of those, and those sell for about $50 a piece. Um, anyway, I got a bunch of parts. I have no idea what they are, so I'm probably going to lot them together and just sell them as a lot. If a person's a bicycle person, they know they'll know what they are. I'm going to do the Google Lens thing and see if I can figure out what some of them are. But I couldn't do any parts, numbers, or anything like that. Yeah, I do best offer on everything. Lag. Good morning, Maggie. Good to see your smiling face. Good morning, Anissa. It's good seeing you in here. Are you on the new system? Um, and some of this stuff is really. I think I got like 30 brake pad replacement kits. Lag. Because some of these bike parts. I mean, I don't know if any of y'all are big bikers or have, and these are bicycles, not motorcycles. um, they pay some. They got some pretty good money in these bikes. I sold a seat locally to this guy, and through Facebook Marketplace, and he's probably got about $5,000 in his bicycle. A 6-year-old could pick that bicycle up. It's so light. So it's not like you're going down to Walmart and picking up a bicycle for some of these people. And he's one of these people. If you've seen the covey of bikers riding around on Saturday and Sunday morning, early in the morning, he would be like one of those because he says he rides with 20 guys every Saturday morning, and then he and his wife ride with some people on Sunday. So I told him if anybody needed it, um, if they needed some parts to let me know. Yeah, Anissa, the Starlink. Yeah, I've got about 60 cents. If I take all the items that I can sell and divide it by my purchase price, I've got about 60 cents, between 50 and 60 cents on each item. Good morning, Harbor's Hope. Ron, how are you doing? So, if I sell something for $39 and I got 60 cents in it, I think that's plus shipping. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, he died like last Friday. Yeah, and since then, and since I've been selling stuff lag, my wife's like, I've told her I've been looking for some other things, even if I needed to drive across the state to pick them up. Good morning, Jim and Tara.
Hey, it's just Tara. Jim's laying down. He's sick.
Do I?
I said Jim's got a cold. He ain't in here.
Okay. Well, good morning, Tara.
Just me. Thought I'd
Usually,
give you somebody to talk at. So
uh, yeah, that's pretty. I like that. I've got all this stuff. I just got to finish getting some of it listed because I've got bukus of little parts. Uh, brake shoe replacements.
for
And
bicycles,
yeah, for bicycle. And this in the store they had these for $29.99. And realistically, if I get $19.99 for them, I'll be happy.
yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Sadie.
Well, it just
So
depends when you look it up how many others are listed right now. So, I
not a
mean, you could
lot.
have a flood up. There is.
There's not a lot of them.
Oh well, that's good.
And I've got a bunch of bicycle grips that are like this right here, and they're not selling for very much. So I'm thinking I'm gonna lot them up and sell a bulk. See if maybe a bike shop will buy them or whatnot.
Well, what do they go for individually? Less than
Well,
$10.
these were priced at $19.99, but they're going for like $3
Oh yeah, that's
on
hard.
eBay.
Yeah.
And I'm not kind of happy with Amazon, so I don't know how I send anything more into them because I sent some items in and they lost about $200 worth of bike seats. So I'm probably done with that. I'll list some stuff, fulfilled by me, but not.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm gonna send any more back in. And Scott says that happens a lot. So, like I said, I only got 60 cents in them a piece, so I'm not really losing a lot of money, out of pocket.
How'd
But
you end up with them? Clearance or
I bought
auction?
them at a auction.
Ah,
I bought they it was a bicycle shop was going out of business and they were auctioning everything off.
cool.
So Bridget and was helping me one night, and she's like, I told her what I was bidding on, and she's like, bid on this, bid on this, bid on this,
Yeah.
and so I bought a bunch of stuff, and I bought a bunch of lots of stuff that was just like miscellaneous parts.
Mhm.
So I'm going to just keep selling it off, trying to get it all listed up, and slowly sell it off.
There you go. We'll keep
Roberta
you
and I
busy.
we looked at some. We've been looking at some land, and I want to get rid of a bunch of stuff to have a little bit more money, and
Yeah.
also just get rid of stuff. I'm tired of living in the city.
Yeah, I wouldn't like living in the city either.
Well, with the way the economy is and the way things are headed, I'd like to have a little bit more distance between my house and my next door neighbors. They think they can have parties till 2 o'clock on the week. On the weekends they can have parties till 2 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and I don't want to listen to music at 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep, and I'm just too nice of a guy to call the police. So but my neighbors on the other side, they've got little small children, like a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and an 8-year-old. So they called the police on them one night, just making too much noise, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. I'm used to
Yeah.
having nice neighbors. So I just don't.
Oh, Todd's in Alaska now. He's in Ketchikan.
Yeah,
That's where that show was filmed. That I forgot their name. Remember, there was that Alaskan show where they were farming up there in Ketchikan, Alaska. I used
yeah,
to watch it, and I forgot their name. Anyway, it was like on Discovery or Learning Channel.
yeah. Todd, how's the diet going while you're up there? I saw the Sunday you had to eat. I know Gwen made you eat that thing. Uh, Lag wasn't in here yesterday, Todd. For a while there, I thought, well, hell, he's gone with Todd on vacation, or maybe Lag is actually Gwen.
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's see. It's 6 o'clock in the morning his time, or is it even earlier than that?
I don't know what is Alaska on like West Coast time, the same as California, or are they like an hour behind California?
It's 5:13 a.m. in Alaska.
Oh,
So thank you, Todd, for getting up and not sleeping in. When did y'all get on the cruise, the actual cruise ship, Todd? I know y'all were hanging out in Washington for a few days with relatives.
and don't get eaten by a polar bear.
Yeah, when my son and daughter-in-law went to Alaska on a cruise this past summer. Um, they took this tour, and they took a chairlift to the top of this mountain, and then they walked this loop, and then they'd go back up to the chairlift and ride back down. And while they were walking around on this path with a tour guide, uh, a couple of bears came up,
Cool.
and you boarded on Sunday. Okay. Um, the tour guide, he's on his radioing people. In a few minutes, a couple other guys came up, or a guy and a girl came up, and he said, I'm not playing. We're just going to stand here for a few minutes. So they said this girl came up, and she kind of like shooed him off, and
Oh,
probably
they
she's
must have been
probably,
like black bears or something.
yeah, she
I mean, when I lived in northern Wisconsin, I had bears in my outdoor riding arena. They'd come in at night sometimes, walking through.
they they would come in. I mean, they probably are probably pets, and they're probably there just to give the tourists some excitement. Oh my God, we were walking on a path, and two bears came up, and
Careful with those black bears. Honestly, they kill more people than like grizzlies or Kodiak because there's more of them. And
yeah,
like because they get fed and stuff, they start like coming to people looking for food.
Good morning, bargain effect.
Oh, it's warm in Alaska, 39 degrees.
Yeah. They're probably dying because it's been 107 in Texas for the last 2 months.
No.
Um, Maggie, you said good morning, Tommy. Who are you? Oh, the bargain effect. Okay. I didn't know whether Tommy Bernard,
No,
whatever
he's the
came in.
other Tommy. It's bargain
Yeah.
effect.
Because the only person that calls me Tommy in this group is Lag.
No, you're Tom with an H.
Yeah, I'm Tom. I'm Thom. 67. God, that's not. It's been. We've had the windows open in the morning because it's been so low.
It's been getting warm during the day here. It was like 95 yesterday or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 96 or 97 here.
Yeah.
Anissa, how is the Starlink working so far? They switched over to Starlink.
That's true. Crazy card. When I lived up in Wisconsin, there was this crazy guy. He'd get these free donuts from the bakery, and he'd put a pan of donuts. He had like a porch roof that came down low on the edge of his roof, so that because he had these bears coming in, so they could stand up, and he'd watch them, and they'd grab the pan off the roof, and then put it down on the ground and eat the donuts. I'm like, you're an idiot. Because one day you're gonna be gone, and you're not gonna have those donuts out there, and they're gonna come in your house looking for those donuts. Ow! And a bear never goes out of a house the same way it comes in. It usually takes a poop in your house too.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we camped up in the Smoky Mountains a lot, and there's a lot of black bears up there.
Yeah.
And we camped at a campground called Grandfather's Mountain, which is on Grandfather's Mountain, and we back in those days we slept in a tent. One of the old canvas ones with the metal outside framing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like the kind you used to put on your buckboard wagon when you're going
Yeah,
across the
those
Oregon
kind right
Trail.
there. Those kind
Okay.
there. And we went to bed one night. My dad was out sitting by the fire talking to some other dads. And while they were sitting there talking, my dad said a black bear came up and laid down beside of our tent where my mom was sleeping at. Just
Oh
laid
boy.
there for a minute and then got up and wandered off. Yeah, Mike. That's what they usually have to do because they get too friendly. Well, that's good. You can catch some rain. I can catch some rain. You can catch some rays, Maggie. Get out and lay by the pool. Yeah, I I told her she should come in and let's talk about Starlink, but she's kind of being bashful.
Mr. Sadie, we were the bears. I need some of those free donuts. Jim had when he had deer hunting land, he had these they had these wood hunting huts they would hunt from, and like the bears like ripped the door off of one of them, and it is amazing because you can see the claw marks in the wood, where they're like scratching to open stuff up in that.
Right. Well,
Honestly, when we would go up, like Jim would go up to the hunting land in the summer to check on stuff, or like sometimes in the fall, like back when you could still like bait in Wisconsin.
right.
Um, or up there at least. He would go up there, and he never went up there without a gun. I mean, not, at least without with a pistol in his pocket in case you run into a bear or something.
My father knew some people down in Charleston that they had two cheetahs that lived in their house.
Oh,
His
they're
his
really.
wife was a big game vet, and they closed down a little traveling circus type thing, and they had to cut. They were
Oh my
cubs.
god! Can you imagine cleaning the litter box for a cheetah?
Oh, they go
Yeah, no.
outside. They're like they have a big piece of land down near Charleston, like 80% of it's swamp, but still, I think
Uh,
30% of it's dry land, and that's probably about 400 acres. Um, they sleep on the bed, their bed at night. Uh, they, they treat them like house cats, and they act like house cats,
yeah.
or they
I
do.
lived in Vilas County, and you probably can bait in some parts of Wisconsin, and I haven't been up there for 5 years. It might have changed, but they had some CWD cases, and so
Right,
you had the DNR up in Vilas County had like shut down baiting for like 3 or 5 years. It might be lifted now. I don't pay attention to hunting up there, but
right.
at that time it was they had banned it up there.
Well, in South Carolina, and I'm assuming in North Carolina too, but in South Carolina, you have to get a permit to have any exotic animals like that.
I think
Um,
everywhere you have to have a permit for exotic animals.
but they put them. They go out in the morning, and Mister.
So were you just shooting random house cats, Mike? I think he really means like cougars or something, but oh yeah, I was way far north of the Dells. I was north of Anago. I was an hour north of Anago.
I've been I've been watching this guy. He's renovating a an RV park up in the upper part of Penn, of Michigan,
Oh, and the
and
UP.
yeah, where all the lakes are at.
Well, they have a lot of waterfalls there, and they're surrounded by the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Well, there's like small lakes.
Mhm.
Apparently, there's a cluster of them. But
Yeah, there's a lot of lakes up there.
he he was talking, which this was filmed during the summer, the spring going into the summer, and he said, "I got to have this thing finished before winter gets in here."
Mm.
I'm not sure whether we'll be able to get back up in here at winter time.
Um, I remember one hunting season because Jim's hunting land was like you had to go through these county forest roads, and we had gotten so much snow that November that when the county plowed the road, the access road, they just plowed a bank in. He couldn't get into the hunting land. They had to go hunt somewhere else. I mean, I guess they could have maybe cranked up snowmobiles, but the problem was the snowmobile trails that go back in there aren't open during deer hunting season. You're not even supposed to get caught running on them. You
The
protect your peace spot.
we had one when I used to live out in the Boondocks. I called it the Boondocks because Domino's didn't deliver. Um, we got so much snow one time I couldn't get up the dirt road to get to my house.
Oh,
And
come on. How much snow did you get in North Carolina, Tom?
well, it was in South Carolina, and we got like 9 inches.
Oh, wow. It got to the top of your boots.
Well,
I used to work
I
at
had a
that
daughter.
thoroughbred farm in northern Wisconsin. We'd have to turn out horses in winter, like January, and they had those open fields. They had these pens across the field. You'd have to walk these crazy ass thoroughbred broodmares out. And because of the drifting, the snow would be up to my crotch. I mean, it'd be like, if you ever walked in snow that's up to your crotch, it's not easy to do, especially when you have a horse dragging your ass.
I'm not. I'm not going to be unless I'm someplace holidaying.
No,
I'm
we
not
should.
going to
I
be any
should
place.
honestly. I should take you up there, I should take you up by Nikki, like January or February, and just let you really experience it.
I would like to honestly. I would like to go to Duluth during January or February when the lake is frozen over. You know, I would really like to go up there because that would be a totally new experience from what I'm used to. Because
Hmm.
being so cold, you sold 14 items since you left, Todd. God, you're gonna have to work when you get back. Uh, Bargain effect. It's snowed one day, and 2 days later, it was completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, we had like snow last year. There was some amount of snow on the ground for like maybe 7 or 8 days. I mean, it wasn't really much, but I will say here, like compared to Wisconsin, because like we get a foot of snow overnight, and Brandon have to go to school in the morning. But the snow, I think, because it's colder up there, it's actually because it's so moist here, it's actually a lot slipperier, and you do get more ice on the road when it gets like that. And they shut everything down, which is cool because I'm used to having to go out and drive in it, so it's like up, down, there's snow on the road.
It's, we've talked about it before. Snow is a novelty down here. If we get frozen precipitation, it's usually ice. And I don't care where
Hmm.
you're from, you can't drive on a sheet of ice. And
No.
unless you're driving the Mach 5 and you've got those little spiky things that pop out of your tires. But it people just freak out when it snows down here. There's
Yeah, it's
they look
exciting.
at watch it snow like it's TV.
I know, it's exciting. Hey, I lived in snow and it's like, woohoo, snow day. It's like kind of exciting.
It's Todd Lag was missing in action yesterday. I thought he was on the cruise with y'all. I figured he took you. You decided to take him along and try to get him out of that basement for a little bit. Uh, but it's a novelty to us, and it causes a lot of problems. So we don't get out on the we don't get out. I'm not worried about my driving because I will creep along, and if you don't like it too damn bad.
Mm.
But there's these fools that think just because they have 4-wheel drive trucks, they can
Yeah, but
drive.
if it's ice for, I mean, the problem is you got to be able to stop and
Exactly,
slide on ice.
exactly. And when you leave right where we live at, you have to go down a hill. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
I got,
whether you're going to the interstate or whether you're going down to like Highway 51, which is
yeah,
a
I have hills
big.
going in and out of both sides of my, I'd have to go out of hills any way I go out of here.
Well, I'm not worried about it going up the hill as bad as I am going down the hills. And
Well, going up the hill, if you start sliding backwards, you'll be worried about
yeah,
it.
but if you're going up the hill and you start sliding, then you try to get off the side of the road, just sit.
Oh,
You know,
well, we don't have, this is a crazy thing about Kentucky, especially as roads coming into my house. There's no shoulder. It's like the edge of the fog line pavement to a deep ditch. So you can't like go off the road and like put two of your tires on the gravel on the side because there's
right?
no freaking gravel. It's like a ditch. And it'll be like these deep, like washed out like water ditches. So they're really deep.
Uh, Sorry, I had to handle a incoming message from the boss.
Uh-oh.
She's at the
Like
office.
you better wrap this up at 10 o'clock kind of message.
No, she's at the office today. So,
Oh,
um, she's going to go 3 days a week to the office.
uh,
Somebody said, did I see someplace, buddy, say up here in the list somewhere that our first lady has COVID?
she did test positive for COVID, but our president tested negative. Is he supposed to go to like that G20 summit? I think in like India or something.
I don't know. I've
I don't know. I mean, because it's like, I mean, it seems like getting COVID now is like pretty much like getting a common cold. I mean, do they even test for it anymore? I don't know.
my daughter-in-law is a nurse, and she says the thoughts around the hospital is, because she works at hospitals, is that it is a variant of the flu,
Yeah.
and that's the way it's got to be treated. And
I guess it's like the influenza outbreak in 1918. You killed a whole bunch of people when it first made its way around the world, you know? My great grandmother died in it. So you killed it, but by the time it started like mutating and stuff, it was just like a regular flu or cold. It didn't kill you.
So it's yeah, I'm fully vaccinated and I've had it 3 times, so there won't be any more
No,
vaccinations. It's not.
no way,
It doesn't
Kimosabi.
do
Well,
any.
I did get the first two,
Yeah,
but I didn't have Brandon get any of them because I was scared with like they had that in young males and stuff,
yeah,
where they were getting that like heart condition. It was, I don't know, it was a murmur or something. I'm like, I'm not
right.
taking chances. I'm was almost 50, so I'm more than halfway through my life, but I'm not gonna have something happen to my kid because I gave him that shot.
So I don't think it does any good, and I'm not saying I'm from. That's my opinion because I've I'm fully vaxxed and I still got it 3 times, and
And he had a heart attack.
the third time was I thought I would never get rid of it, and ever since I've had it, nothing tastes right.
Mm. I don't know if I've ever had COVID or not. I mean, when it first came out, like before, I was real sick when it like a couple weeks before they really started talking about COVID.
Right?
So I don't know if that was it either, but I never have been tested for COVID.
You like those cream filled crullers, whatever they're called.
Crawler.
Um, so anyway, I'm just not. I'm not worried about it. I mean, you always got to be worried about it, but I'm not going to do the vaccinations again.
I was listening. The problem is like the new vaccine that's coming out is for because the variants are changing so fast. It's like a for the new vaccine is for a variant that's like two variants ago. So it
Yeah.
really isn't going to protect you against a new variant anyway because it's mutating.
So I'll just have to take my chances with it.
Yeah.
And we got it. And the first time we got it, it was just because of Roberta. Because the doctor
Yeah.
said she should get it, so we got it. But she's convinced that's the reason I had the heart attack was because of the shot.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's because I ate too much junk. Let me get. Let me grab this.
You're probably eating those COVID colored covered donuts, and that's how you got it, the heart attack and COVID. You were gonna be sitting on the phone for an hour. Maybe like
I hate these damn people.
uh-oh.
No, it was somebody called and I picked up the phone and said hello, and then music started playing, and I said
Uh-oh.
hello, and they still didn't say anything. So the music's still playing, so I reached over and I hit the block button and hung up.
There you go.
Uh, Normally I was nice about it today because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good today, so I just let it play for another one. Usually I say hello. If they don't say hello back, then they get the big red button and the number's blocked. We've got like 3,000 numbers blocked on our phone.
There you go. Don't
On our,
talk to anybody.
well, if I don't, if they're selling something, at least pick up the phone and talk to me, and then I'll tell you no, I'm not interested. But you know, don't waste my time. And honestly, if the phone system wasn't so glitchy, I would have it banned if you're not, if
Mm.
you're not in our calling list, then you don't get put through. Good morning, Joanna. I'm tired of with the crap calls, and it's almost time for them to start the dadgum.
Oh yeah, because we're going into this election cycle.
Yeah, Social
Then you start
Security
really getting
thing.
the calls.
Not so much about the coverage on my car, but it's Social Security and all that kind of crap. I was reading back up through the chat. How are you this morning, Maggie? Joanna. Maggie's awful chatty this morning. She must have got up. Mike must have fixed her breakfast this morning. Did you have a reaction to it, Maggie? I didn't have any reactions to it. It just doesn't seem to do anything. And I know there's probably, people rolling over in their graves because I said that, but seriously, I got it 3 times.
Hmm.
So, anyway, Maggie, you said that you didn't go to Disney. Did y'all have a health issue or something, or you just decided not to go because you were going to go to Disney? Yeah, part of my deal was, and is I I wasn't eating right. I know that's part of it because I had a blockage. It was a heart attack, but it was a mild one, Joanna. It wasn't like I had you see on TV where people grabbing their chest and no, it was none of that. It was like
You weren't
somebody
like, oh Lordy Jesus, it's the big one. I'm coming,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, no, it wasn't anything like that. It was it just felt like somebody was sitting on me, and you know, so I'm thankful that it wasn't worse than that.
Well, that's good. We're happy to have you here, Thom. What will we do without you?
Uh, yeah, I'd be bored, I guess. Hung up
Mm.
and yeah, I'm with you, Mike. You know, with technology, everybody should be able to say who they are on their phone. Okay, well, I hope everything's okay up there, Maggie. Because you're DV DVC members, aren't you? Yeah, I'm sorry about that too, Anissa. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Okay, we're gonna quiz Anissa now. Anissa, are you using the Starlink today? Or is that what you're on right now? She was having problems with her ISP. She's getting aggravated with me. She's shouting
Uh
at me.
oh. Uh oh. Well, don't make her mad.
um,
Oh, did she have trouble with her internet? I thought Pennsylvania has good internet.
uh, apparently, Bree's line they were having a bunch of issues.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to share your picture that you shared in Facebook, Anissa. So don't get mad at me.
She is gonna get mad at you.
Apparently, that's apparently the end of her house, and that's the
Oh,
star. I'm assuming that's the Starlink antennae.
well, that's cool.
Is that correct, Anissa? Did um did Fred make you climb up the side of the house and hang that up, or did he go up there himself? And I know y'all get snow up there. Are you going to have to go up there and brush that thing off?
Maybe the wind will blow it off. We had direct TV, and you'd get those big dumps of snow, and you'd have to go outside and clean the dish off. Otherwise, your direct TV didn't work.
It's I was reading up on it, and they said that they don't really have any problems unless it's like a hurricane kind of storm, or
Mm,
a blizzard.
sounds fancy, hot
Oh, really?
blazing.
Well, that's cool. And since I
I think
don't
I
know her
heard that
husband,
about the dish TV dishes too. That the newer ones had something where it could melt the snow off of them.
um, your husband's name is Chad. Okay. I was wanting to call him. I was saying Fred because I didn't know what his name was, and I didn't want to say Mister Trader. Um, so you had to supply the post and the bracket, and they supplied the sensor and the antennae and the bracket to hold it on. Shut up, lag. I'm I've really been going full strength keto this week. Started on Sunday, and I just want some bread so bad I can't stand it because I like sandwiches.
Me too.
Um, was it difficult to set up, Anissa? Getting all logged in to the system and whatnot once you got it all hooked up? I wish. Box came with receiver, wires, modem, router. We had to supply the rest. Okay. Easy to set up. Cool. Because where we're looking at this property, um, I we might have to look at that because I'm not sure what this. Okay, it's out in the boondocks, so
Oh, you're going like off grid, Tom?
yeah, it's one county away, but it's at the other end of the county, and it's out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Hmm.
I mean, it's an hour to the nearest Walmart.
So you're gonna have to like start living off the land and stuff.
Um, Not necessarily. I mean, I have like some tomato bushes and
Yeah.
pepper plants and stuff like that here, but I might do a little bit more down there because it comes with the property has a tractor, so an old
Oh,
Ford tractor that runs.
like an 8N or a 9N?
I don't know what the number is.
Oh, come on.
It's got the front wheels are spaced out like a normal
Uh
tractor.
huh.
It's not.
Like a wide front.
Yeah,
Is it gray?
yeah, it's gray and white.
Well, I guess it could be like a 8N, a 9N, a Jubilee.
So my brother has is it Kabuta?
Kubota.
Yeah, he has one with the bucket on the front.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not a big one. I mean,
Hmm.
it's an
Like
over.
hobby farm size.
Yeah, but they're not Harvey farming. They've got 100 rabbits, 100
What the heck are they
chickens,
doing with 100 rabbits?
cows, because their vet screwed up and thought he had neutered all their male
Oh
rabbits.
yeah, and you put rabbits together. I mean, they just multiply.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh man.
They've got cows, they've got horses.
So now they got all these inbred rabbits because they're all related to each other.
Well, they found out they got the other male rabbits fixed, so or the
Mm.
other male rabbit fixed, so that's kind of backed off. Um, Joanna, do you have a freeze dryer? But it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's got a little cabin on it. So if we happen to go that route, we would for a while we would just go to use it as a weekender while we were developing, cleaning the barns up and all that kind of stuff.
Mm. Well, sounds like you better get some livestock. You got barns and everything.
No, no livestock. When we move down there,
Get a
if we
cow
buy the
for milk.
property, I might get a few chickens, but that's about it.
Uh-oh.
It's got a pond on it, that kind of stuff.
No. You can go fishing.
I guess I'd have to check with the SC environmental people to come in and check it
Why?
just to make sure it's got. I mean, see if it's got fish in it.
Oh. Well, just throw a bait in there and see if the fish come.
I guess that would be a good way to do it.
You don't need like professional people, or just take a can of corn and
Well,
throw it on
I have a
top of the
friend.
water.
I have a friend who works. Brian works for the SC whatever the South Carolina people, and he said, I can come down there and look at it." He says, "I can even get you a good deal on some fish to put in it if you need to."
Mm. You know how it is. You start having the government people checking your shit, and then they start finding stuff wrong, and then you got to bring it into compliance and stuff.
His tractor is a hobby tractor. I call it. I would say, even me being the city person I am, consider it a hobby tractor because it's not. It. I guess you can move, clean out stalls and stuff like that with the bucket on the front of it.
Mm.
But it might text it if you really put a lot of weight on it. What's the matter, Nissa? You want to get rid of your boxer and your Shih Tzu? A friend of ours has boxers, loves boxers. He tried his best to get us to get a boxer. And
You said I'm a cat person.
no, well, that was about the time we were starting the process of adopting children, and we just felt like
I'm adopting children. I don't have time to adopt a dog.
yeah, that's right. Where are you baling? I only thought you had a couple of acres, Joanna. Where are you baling hay at? Um, to talk about hay could get kind of pricey down here this winter.
I heard in Wisconsin, at least at the top of Wisconsin, I heard that they had some kind of a drought a little bit up there, so hay was not good. Good there. I mean, I got a good source for hay, so I'm all right. But I don't know. I mean, like here, like a bale of decent hay is $7 a bale here.
Good morning, night nurse. No. Yes, I did have a dog. We've had several dogs, not since I've been married. We had just a spaniel mix when I was really little. I don't even remember what his name was. And then we had Charlie, who was a bloodhound, and we had him forever. He was red, and he's a big old dog. And then we had Snoopy, who was a Chihuahua Yorkie mixed. And the bloodhound was a lot better dog than behaved dog than Snoopy was. Snoopy didn't like strangers. I remember, I guess at about 11 years old, they were delivering a new mattress to our house, and my younger brother was holding Snoopy, and he got out of his arms and chased one of the workers into a sliding glass door. Didn't
Oh
break
boy.
the door, but that guy ran into it full strength. Oh, cool. 20-acre farm. That's nice. Good morning, Beth. Um, my brother and his wife, my brother, his wife, and his daughter-in-law have planted. I think they got 30 acres of Bermuda now,
Oh yeah.
and I don't. It's not ready to to be baled yet, but because that's the kind of hay they like. No, I've just had enough of the city. Have a good day, Maggie. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Craig. How are you? And then I think about being out in the boondocks, out in the sticks. I'm pretty. I like having stuff convenient.
It takes me like 12, 15 minutes to drive into town, but where I'm at, I mean, I'm in the sticks. I mean, it's
Now,
quiet. There's no traffic or nothing.
there is not a direct route. There is not a direct route. Everything like the properties here, and you got to drive way around like this to get to the town, to the
Mm.
nearest like Walmart or anything like that. There's some country stores locally, but so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, everything I drive through is all farm fields to get back over to town. And I don't really live in that big of a town. I mean, it's big enough to have a Walmart and stuff, but it's not a very big town.
Like I want you to do a video of the basement. Get with all your other little homebound friends that's living in their parents' basement and start doing a series on basements. Because he does have a channel. How are you this morning, Craig? Things going all right down there in lower Alabama? I bet you can't. It's I've always lived in the city, but my family background is farmers, both sides of my family. My my father still had their family farm for years, and they had cows on them. So I know my way around feeding cows and baling hay and driving tractors and things like that. But I'm definitely not a farm boy. But then again, if you down south of us, uh, people are boarding their horses, and these little rich kids are having to go down there and they have to clean out their own stalls and you know do the feeding and whatnot. And the reason I know that is because a friend of mine's daughter shows horses, and they pay they pay like 1,500 a month for a place to board their horse, and that does not include food and stuff like that's extra.
Really?
Yeah, now it's nice and it's swanky, and that's where all the
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it all the preppy horse riders go. You know, because
Usually the preppy horse riders don't have to clean their own stalls.
well, you can if you want to pay the money. You go up. You can just call them up and tell them to saddle the horse, and you know
Mm.
you drive down, get on it, ride it, and then they put it away. Groom it and put it away. How many horses do you have, Joanna? My brother's got or my sister in law and my niece have like 30.
Wow, they're busy.
Yeah, my niece has 3 kids. She has a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Plus 30 horses, bunnies, chickens, cats. You know, they have barn cats. They have cats that are not barn cats. I went a couple of weekends. First time I've been down to my brother's farm, and they man, he built a nice barn when he built his barn. There's nothing sloppy about that thing. Oh, you're just a play. You're just playing at having horses. You only have two. Yeah, I was wondering last night, Scott. Good morning, by the way. If Lag had gone on the cruise um, with
Hey
Todd.
Tom, how far are you from Murfreesboro, Tennessee? Is that getting close over there in North Carolina or no?
Tennessee's a good way from me.
Is it?
It's probably 5 hours.
Hmm.
Why? What's going on in Murfreesboro?
I'm going down to the Tennessee Horse Show, and that's in Murfreesboro in October.
You riding?
Probably something. I don't know what.
When are you going to get your own horse and start riding your own horse?
I probably will.
I mean, you're going to have to build a nice barn because if you're going to spend a bunch of money for a horse and you can't buy, you're going to have a nice, expensive horse.
Yeah,
Um,
expensive.
it's I'm sure there's a brig or something like that they can put him in, or what's it called, the bilge. They can put him down in the bilge. Uh,
Shoveling coal,
yeah, showing up.
like on the Titanic.
That's the only reason I wanted to see that movie.
Was for the coal shoveling?
It's just when they were down in the engines.
Oh,
That's the only reason I wanted to see that movie. I really didn't care about the love story because the ship's going to sink. Oh my God! Did I just spoil it for people that haven't watched the Titanic?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
you're going to
door,
end up
maybe you
having
both would have lived. Oh
lung
no, no, I
diseases.
can't get you on the door.
So you're going back up to Wisconsin before the snow sets in?
I don't know. Maybe. See how stuff's going.
I didn't know if there was anything else you needed to get from up there that was
Oh,
pressing.
I got some stuff to finish up there. It's expensive. I mean, when diesel's at over like right now, it's over $4 a gallon. I mean, that's $1,000 trip. I mean, it does. So you do a few of those, it don't take long to be like, oh, money.
And rental cars are apparently out of this world right now.
I don't know. I just looked up for somebody. I said, go on like Priceline or something and rent a car. She wants to go to Oklahoma City from here down to the Morgan World Championship. And I'm like, on Kayak, you could rent a car in Louisville and have it, in Oklahoma City the next day. And I think it was $108 plus tax, which I didn't think was that bad.
Is that a small one?
Yeah, like a 4-door. Yeah, I have a cold. Well, I'm getting over it, but whenever I get a cold, it really affects my voice.
Have you been
I'm not
tested?
breaking no Mustangs, Mike. No, I want my own. I know what I want. And it ain't a Mustang.
You know what she wants. She wants what she
Yeah.
wants. Sorry, I can't sing.
They had a customer horse though. They were up at Kentucky State Fairs or World Championships for saddlebreds. They had a customer horse and they sold it up there and they got like $45,000 for it. And the horse went up to Minnesota. It was a 2-year-old.
Yeah, the thing about rental cars is if they break down or you have any problems, you just call them up and they bring you another one.
Yeah, I remember Mike when diesel was cheaper than gas.
Yeah.
But I think our gas here right now is like 335, and I think our diesel is like 509 or 507, something like that.
Mike, was that for your Mercedes, the diesel that you had in 2004? My brother has a diesel truck that he pulls a horse trailer with.
Mm,
And he was talking about they normally take a trip to West Virginia and they go up to some place up there and they ride for a week.
hmm
And he thought he was going to have to cancel it for a while because it was going to cost like $500 to haul 4 horses up there
Yeah.
and just in diesel fuel. And then on the way back.
Cheaper than a gas truck pulling a horse trailer, though, because I've had
Yeah,
both. I
I
will
don't
say,
see.
a diesel might be high, but you're gonna get this many. But like gas, your miles per gallon go way down when you're pulling a kind of horse trailer with size. Ooh, $5 gallon gas out west.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean the Kentucky State Fair is cool. It on For a walking around state fair, I think Wisconsin State Fair is better. Now, do they have the World Championship horse show there, which is totally up my alley? Yes. I
Well, you,
go there, and every year I'm going to be like, I'm going to go look at the chickens. So I went there this year. I was there like in the first week. I'm like, all right, I'm going to the chicken bar. I'm going to go look at the chickens. It was turnover day, so 90% of the chickens are gone. So I never get to go see the chickens.
why don't you just get you some and put them out in the yard? You can see them every day.
No, I like to go look at the show chickens because when I was a kid, I used to show chickens.
Yeah. You know, at our
But they
farmers,
have cool stuff like the Kentucky State Fair. You have like where they judge the tobacco. So you
right?
have a room where they go judge all the tobacco, which is kind of cool. I mean, we don't have that. We didn't have that up in Wisconsin. So that's kind of cool. And they have a lot of cows and stuff, but they don't have any cream puffs. And they don't even know what the hell a cream puff is down here.
We used to go down to the South Carolina State Fair, and one year we were there, and they had an Arabian thing going on,
Uh-huh.
and everybody was riding in Arabian garb,
Oh yeah, for costume class.
Yeah. Uh, and then we were there for, let's see, one year we were there and they were doing like English saddle kind of stuff, the all in costumes, but
Yeah, they call it native costume, and if you ever really watch the class, it's kind of cool because they'll go in, but then they gallop the horses. So you got like these flowing Arabian robes, on these Arabs, and they have these very like r- elaborate like bridles and stuff, and they gallop around the ring. Actually, it's kind of cool. Not that I'd do it, but it is kind of cool.
the English when they had women were riding side saddle
Yeah, they'll have side saddle
and
classes.
gallop. They were galloping those horses side saddle. I'm like, oh my god. And then they had like a Western type deal.
Hmm.
At one time we were there. It's interesting. Yeah, it's cosplay, but like those Arabians were like $90,000 because the girl I was dating at the time said, "Oh, that's a really pretty horse."
Well, yeah, was this like in the 80s? Yeah,
Yeah,
Arabs were like super. They like crashed their market, but like in the 80s, they were like super expensive.
she was like, "Why don't you buy one and put it up at Terry's farm?" And I'm like, so I was just talking. We were just talking. And this guy said, "I've got one. I'll let you have." And I said, "Yeah.
I know, no
What kind
cream
of ticket
puff.
price is on that horse that you're gonna let me have?" He said, "Oh, 92.5." And I said, "No, thank you."
The first one of like the. I think I was down here, but I wasn't living here yet. Me and Jim like were coming back from Florida, so we stopped at Kentucky State Fair, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask if they have cream puffs here. So I go to the information booth. Oh, do you have any places that sell cream puffs? Like any booths or vendors? Are like cream puffs. What's a cream puff? I'm like, oh my god. Anyway.
What are you saying? Tree farm? Frogs?
Cream. Like
Oh,
cream puff.
cream. I'm sorry.
You know what a Do you know what a cream puff is?
Yeah, I know what cream puff is.
All right. Well, they don't have them here. I don't know why nobody's making them here, but they don't
Well,
have them.
then next year you and Jim need to go down there and have cream puffs.
Oh, like what? Get a food trailer and start serving cream puffs together? Yeah, that
Mhm.
no.
Just for the
I don't
week.
like to serve.
I think horses are beautiful. I hate it when I see somebody's not been taking care of them, and like that's what my sister-in-law, and niece do, and their friends. They go with the sheriff's department and they confiscate these horses that are just skin and bones because people haven't been feeding them and whatnot. But I don't want to order. I don't want to own one.
You don't want to order one?
I don't want to order one. And the property that we're looking at doesn't have any fields on it big enough for horses, so I don't have to worry about my niece showing up with some horses to put on the farm. But we'll just have to see. Now yours, you have a good sized pasture up there, don't you, for your horses?
Well, I fenced it in. It was grown over, but I mean, I probably fenced in. I only got 3 horses. I mean, I probably fenced in like 8 or 9 acres.
I knew you had, what was it, walnuts
Yeah,
that you had?
there's chestnut trees. Well,
Chestnut.
I cut all there was some black walnuts here, but I've cut them all down.
Well, that's what I meant. You had to cut them down because of the horses.
And they're toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, but horses don't usually go up and eat them or chew on them. But I do know like sometimes like sawmills they'll end up like sawing like black walnuts into boards or whatever. And
Right.
I have heard of people that got sawdust from like a sawmill that sawed black walnut, but it got mixed in with like let's say pine or whatever.
Right.
And because it's so toxic, it'll make the horse founder just absorb right through their feet or when they're eating off of it or whatever.
Oh, I'm just not. I have to keep up with three indoor cats. That's
That's
all.
what you can handle. Your
That's
cat
all I can
trainer.
handle. And
Your
I have
cat.
one outside that is taken up here. He's been here now for a couple of months, and he knows when my son comes home from work at night because he's always waiting at the end of the driveway waiting on him. But it's a lot of work, and I really respect my sister and niece for taking care of all these animals like they do.
Yeah,
And
well, 30 horses. That's a lot of work. Did they set up a nonprofit or anything for it?
it's through Project Care
Oh,
or Operation Care, which is a animal adoption group. Now
so
they've
they
placed
so they adopt some of these horses out, or are they the ones adopting the
no,
horses?
they adopt them out. They get
Yeah.
them. They have a vet that works with them. They get them all checked out, and they get them back up, where they're healthy and whatnot. And
Mhm.
then they find homes for them. There's one. I mean, they've got a couple of old ones that they've adopted out, and they just walk around and eat and poop.
Yeah.
That's all they do. But the people that adopted them said they just wanted some. They wanted some animals on their farm.
Yeah.
So, and they felt sorry for the horses too. So, um, Joanna needs about five more. She's only got two. She
Oh
needs about
yeah.
five more.
I only got 3.
Well, you need a couple more too.
Yeah.
But you need to get you some that you can ride and you can show and make some money off of.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to make money on horses. Well, it's not, but I'm not very good at it, I guess.
Good morning, Glenn. Um, Joanna, do your kids ride?
Lag's mom wants a dog, but she has her hands full. Probably taking care of Lag.
Yeah. My high school sweetheart taught me how to ride a horse. She had one, and she was a bitch.
The horse or the girlfriend?
Both of them.
Oh boy.
Oh God. Anyway, she taught me how to ride, so we'd ride a lot because they lived out in a swanky neighborhood, and they had like all the kids had horses, and they rode. They weren't just like status symbols. They actually rode them just about
Oh
every day.
yeah, I went up yesterday. I helped this friend of mine go pick up a horse up there in Lexington area, and yeah, you're all up in the bougie horse area up there. I mean, it's beautiful, board fence and just big fields with horses in it, and big barns and big mansion houses and stuff.
Um, you don't want to talk about bougie. We have what's called the Queen's Cup down here, which is a English riding competition thing. Princess Anne has been over here to it several times. Anyway, this guy called me one night. He said, "Tom, I'm having some problems with a computer. I really need it back up. Can you come down here and see about it?" I said, "Yeah, where's come down to?" And he said, "In Waxhaw, and it's near where they have the cup at." And I went down there, and this place is freaking beautiful. It's got the black boarded fence and all the
Yeah.
landscaping out at the road. It was like the property line, the right of way limits, then say like 5 feet was a row of trees, and then 3 feet behind the trees was one of those black boarded fences. I
Uh-huh.
mean, that place was beautiful. Big old house, horses out there, really nice barn. He showed me the barn before I left. I mean, really high end barn. And I said, "Do you like to ride?" I said, "No." I said, "With all the horses, I'm assuming you like to ride." He says, "No, I hate horses." And I said, why do you have all the horses? He says, because my wife likes to ride, and my daughters like to ride, and my granddaughters like to ride. So that's the reason we have all the horses.
Mm.
And I said, and what do you do? He says, I come out and feed them every once in a while. But he said, that's their little thing. And I told him I wasn't going to clean house. I wasn't going to clean stalls. So they have a guy that comes in every day and cleans stalls. You know, and then later on, when my brother and his wife started field trialing their Springer Spaniels, then I
Uh-huh.
would go with them and we'd ride. And I came close to buying a horse because of that.
Oh yeah,
Because
know they use walking horses a lot for that.
they had walking horses,
Yeah.
Tennessee Walkers, and they were, it was a solid black Tennessee Walker, and that horse looked like he was 20 feet tall. I mean,
Mm.
he was huge. I mean, he dwarfed all the other horses, and apparently he at one time was like a national champion and all that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
he was old, so they just rode him for like stuff like that.
Yeah,
You,
I just got done with a celebration. The Walking Horse World Championship just ended like this past weekend.
but now my brother has quarter horses or something of that sort.
Mm.
Um, because they don't do the field trialing anymore. My brother says he'd like to get back into it after he retires, but at that rate, the rate he's going, he'll never retire. Told him he need to go ahead and do it now because,
Feed that 30 head of horses.
well, he don't. He's got one, and he'll tell you. I'll say, "How many animals you got, Terry?" He says, "We have about 33 on the property." He says, "But I have one."
Mm.
And he says, "And how many do I look after?" I look after one.
Mm.
Um, and I got only knows how many dogs they've got around there. And he says, I have two. He has a hunting dog, and then he has a little dog that, um, like a Chihuahua, long haired mutt mix kind of thing. That's his
Mm-hmm.
buddy. When am I going to retire, Lag? I'm sort of retired now. I um I got a
I was gonna
couple.
say I think you're already retired.
Do I?
I was gonna say when Lag said that, I was gonna say I think Tom's already retired.
I'm pretty much retired. I'm working on a project that's more for my sons than it is for me, so I might be busy with that for a while. Um, we have a piece of property that I'm going to convert into an RV storage facility. It's near town, so it'd be convenient. Because with all the high density subdivisions that are building now, and you can't park in the parking lot. I mean, you got a boat, you can't park it in your driveway. You got to either put it in the garage if you have a garage, or you have to find some place off site to park it.
Hmm.
Like I haven't been to Russia in 25 years, and that's not on my hit parade list to go right now. Thanks, Dad. I being that Roberta's home, I don't think I'd want to be retired and be home all alone by myself all the time. That would kind of get boring. I probably would be a lot more active and I wouldn't be as fat. Land shark. Glenn, don't start that. Craig, don't start that shit this morning. Yeah, well, when we got Sergey was the last time I was in Russia. Then 2 years later, we were in Ukraine. So I've been to Kiev and I've been to Moscow. The sub meets me off Myrtle Beach. Nah. Even though during World War II, there was a lot of Nazi submarines running up and down the east coast of the Carolinas. As a matter of fact, I dove on the U-352, which sits off the coast of North Carolina. It's deep.
Huh.
Like you have to do decomps on the way back up.
Did you go see the Hunley?
I've never been.
Didn't
As
they
many
make a
times we've been to
museum?
Charleston, I have not seen it.
Isn't there a museum now for it where they've brought it up and it's
Yeah,
on
and they're
display?
renovating, or they're stabilizing it.
Yeah. Are they
Um,
still stabilizing it, or can you see it now?
you can take your tour. They have limited tours up there
Oh.
or down there. It's in Charleston, but I've wanted to. But I've always been a big history buff, and
I think they found that in a river though, because wasn't it in like a lot of muck or mud? Was it like?
it was in Charleston Harbor,
Oh.
or the edge of Charleston Harbor, basically, and yeah, it was full of muck. And I did
We
not know
were.
that we were fighting the Nazis off the coast of the Carolinas and New Jersey and New York. I mean, all along through there was Nazi U-boats running up and down through there, sinking our freighters.
We went to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and they have, the Civil War, national park there or whatever. But
Right,
anyway, they have a ship there that they dug out of the river. God dang it, I forgot the name of it. Anyway, it's a Civil War ship that was running in the river there, and it's a real cool display. It's underneath like these big sunshade tents and that,
right,
but they made it where you can walk over the top of it because they reconstructed it with the old wood, so you're walking over all this old worn wood and stuff, or they've tried
right.
to put it back together. It's actually really cool to see.
There's a couple in Norway that I've always would want to go if we made it to Norway, and Roberta's wanting to do doing a cruise up in that area once things calm down over there, where they've these 700-year-old ships they've recovered and they've got them in museums and they're restoring them and keeping them from breaking down anymore. And I'd like to go someplace like that to see them.
Well, if you ever go to UP in Michigan, they got those glass bottom boat tours up there on Lake Superior. I've been on those. Those are cool, and then they go over these like sunken ships. There's a water so clear in Lake Superior where you can
Right.
see them, and that's actually really neat too.
Um, yeah, a friend of mine used to go scuba diving up there, and I just never got the opportunity. I never just had the time to go when he was going up there. But they'd go out and dive for like 3 or 4 days on different wrecks on the Great Lakes, and he said the water was so clear
Hmm.
and so cold. You dove in dry suits. So I'm getting so old now. Scuba diving is not. I like to snorkel and shallow dive, but deep diving, I'm not into that anymore. But it's you young folks, y'all need to do something exciting in your life. Like you need to get the hell out of the damn basement. See the world. There's a big world out there. Let's see, what is it? A whole new world
Okay. Whole
from
new
Aladdin.
world. Yeah,
I saw Scott in here in the chat. Dude, what are you doing today?
it's probably busy working.
Yeah, he's been selling a bunch of stuff. Boy, Bridget, she had a busy day yesterday packing.
Yeah, that's good.
How about you? How's things been?
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought the weekend started out better than it ended. Like Sunday was my like yesterday was good, but Sunday was a little slower compared to like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know why.
I mean, y'all still doing what y'all need to get done. I mean, what y'all need to do.
Yeah, well, when eBay sales are down, I mean, it helps if you don't have a lot of like obligations, and I
Right.
don't really have any obligations, so that makes it easier. I don't have to worry about like paying a mortgage every month or a car payment or stuff like that.
Well, that's what I keep telling my children right now, especially, and my daughter-in-law. Um, y'all, they need to keep debt down to a minimum.
You know.
They need to. I mean, just in general, they need to keep it down to a minimum. Not at all if you can get by with it, but because you just never know what the economy is going to happen again. And if we were to do another shutdown, we haven't really fully recovered from the last shutdown. You know, God knows what'll happen then. We might actually have to drive a mile and a half to a daggone McDonald's instead of a
I don't
further.
even hardly eat at McDonald's, and not to sound like a cheap ass, but I mean, I mean, by the time we go with three people, I might as well just go to a better restaurant then.
Well,
Because
that's
it'll
just it
cost us
too.
almost $40. It'll cost 35, 37 bucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive to eat any place. I mean, we got together with my uh, son and his wife last night, and we went to Bad Daddy's. It's a burger place,
Yeah.
and I think our bill was like $150 before we could get out of there.
Oof. Yeah. I'm too cheap, I guess.
Well, we only do it once in a while
Yeah.
because I'm just
Anyway, so I don't eat a lot of fast food, honestly.
yeah. You're right. This fast food is not cheap at all.
But groceries have gone up. I mean, when you go to the grocery store, I mean, like what I pay for groceries has gone up. So I'm sure that affects the price at like, a fast food place. I mean, their cost of putting a hamburger together has gone up, so they
I
got to
mean,
pass it on. They're not going to eat that. They're going to pass it on to the consumer.
it's cheaper. I mean, sometimes it's cheaper to just like hamburgers. Time I buy hamburgers, hamburger meat, and all the fixings. If if we have hamburgers, it's cheaper to just stop by and pick up some burgers.
Hmm.
From McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, one of those places. And since I have a tomato plant, we have lettuce in the refrigerator. I can add lettuce and tomato to it because if you're going to eat a hamburger and it's not all the way with everything on it, then you might as well not eat one. But it's it's expensive, and they're talking about it getting more expensive. And I don't know if you follow one person or watch one video on YouTube about the crash is coming or whatnot,
Oh,
then
the crash is
you
coming? I thought we were already in it.
well, they're talking about food.
What, like food prices are going to go up, or there ain't going to be enough food?
Food not being able to be able to get it,
Oh.
like wheat products, dairy products, because of the grain issues, and
Hmm.
grain feeds cows, and cows are beef and or meat and dairy products, and it's just like cascade failure.
Well, I'll tell you what really affects it is these high diesel prices because everything gets put in a diesel truck to be shipped, or when they're like out harvesting stuff and farming and that's all diesel, with tractors and that gets expensive.
I ain't eating
I'm
that
not
damn
eating no
bugs.
bugs. Ugh.
So y'all need to be picking up an extra bag of rice or beans or
Oh,
a couple of
great.
cans of spam or something like that. And
Oh my
my
God, you
wife will
sound like
say, "I'm
Oatmeal
not eating
Annie or
spam." I
something.
said, "If you're hungry enough, you'll eat any damn thing. You'll even eat bugs."
Sound like Oatmeal Annie. Pick up a bag of rice. Pick up some beans. Some of those dried beans in a bag and make some soup.
Well, that's it. I was watching. I was The reason I asked Joanna about the freeze dryer because she does all this canning and stuff like that. I was
Uh-huh.
watching this guy yesterday. He and his wife, or last night, they were making jambalaya,
Yeah.
and then they um, put it in their freeze dryer,
Oh, and
and
like save it.
then they packed it in the individual like mylar bags. Like you, if you buy any of these prepped meals in, they come in, and
Mm-hmm.
but they took one of them and then they added hot water to it, and they said it was there was because they made it, they knew what it tastes like. It once they added the water to it, you need it was good. So they planned on making a couple more pots and putting it back up. But they're just not prepping because of the in the times type prepping. They're prepping because they like to have a year's worth of groceries in their house. So if gas
Mm-hmm.
prices get so high, they don't have to go out and whatnot.
Just stay in the house. Hunker down.
Yeah, MREs. The bags they were using were about the size of an MRE bag, but they were
Mm-hmm.
regular Mylar bags. Um, yeah, Roberta's like, we need to have based on everybody should have 6 months worth of food on hand.
Yeah.
Roberta's like, oh, we don't have enough rice and beans, honey. We got like 200 pounds of rice.
I don't want it to get that bad.
Do I?
I said I don't want it to get that bad. I don't want people to feel food insecure, have it fall apart because it ain't gonna be like then how much food you got stocked up. It's gonna be who has the most guns and ammo. Because you
Yeah.
got somebody just show up to your place with a gun and say, "Give me your food, or I'm gonna shoot you in the head."
Um,
Oh yeah, Doritos are good. Twinkies too last forever.
yeah. Yep. It's food insurance, Tara.
No, I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying I don't want to see civilization fall apart that
Oh,
much. If you got it where people feel food insecure, because yeah, then it's gonna come down to who has the most ammunition and who has the most guns.
it's yeah, because people are mean now. If they'll just walk into a Walmart and steal stuff
Yeah,
now,
I mean, do you think it would be like, hey, I heard Tom's got like a year's worth of food. Oh yeah, let's go over there. Let's go show up with some guns.
it's but it's there's some of these preppers or these people that talk about prepping online that they're selling their products. That's what they're selling. Uh,
I
Joanna,
don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, better safe than sorry, but
well,
just saying I don't want to see it happen.
I was gonna say Amish, but that's not it. Not Muslim. The Mormons. They believe in keeping like 6 months worth of food on hand all the time,
Oh yeah.
and there's they have a place to they have a big place where they can buy like number 10 cans of stuff.
Hmm.
But everybody should I think really everybody should be keeping an extra bit of stuff in their house, just on the safe side.
Ellis, I didn't know they had their own stores. I
Yeah,
mean, we have a lot of
LDS.
those Amish grocery stores around here, which actually are cool, but I didn't know that the LDS had their own stores too.
John, you can order from their warehouse. I'll get if you're interested because we've got some stuff in there that came from them, powdered eggs and stuff like that. Yeah, I was watching this thing. I don't know how it came up in my playlist, but it was like a prepper convention in Colorado,
Mm.
and I did not know that you could buy it's like little machines that you can seal number 10 tin cans with.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. I'm like, Roberta, how much are those things? Because storing the stuff is that's the hard part, the challenging part, and the part that you have to be the most careful so you don't package something and then it go bad. Yeah, and like I don't know what you're going to do when you can't get flour. I don't know what you do about your pancakes unless you've got a deep freeze over there with like thousands of
Frozen pancakes in it.
frozen pancakes in it. Yeah,
Lag's got
freezer.
all the Lego Magos.
Yeah. Who was that? Who was you're talking about? Uh,
And
Joanna,
some homesteader
the
channel, it
needy
looks like.
home. Oh, the needy homesteaders. Yeah, some of these homesteaders have some huge channels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot. I watch Stacy and forgot her husband's name. He dresses like an Amish dude. I'll listen to them once in a while, but they do a lot of these like conventions on homesteading where they go and speak at them and that.
Right.
And I forgot her husband's name.
Well, listen, guys, I got to get out of here. I got some stuff I got to get done.
Yeah, you got to list all those bicycle parts.
Yeah, I need to list more of those. And I just got a bunch of stuff I want to get listed and get out of here.
Yeah,
Um,
make that money.
yeah, I'll make that money.
Can't sell it from the storeroom.
Y'all need to Scott, I'm assuming, is having his show in the morning, so y'all check him out tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday and Friday and Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday until
Oh
Todd gets
wow,
back.
all next week for you too?
Yeah,
Wow.
I gotta find some things to talk about.
Yeah, you better make a list and outline or something. Well, I ain't gonna
Yeah,
be here. I won't be around on Monday. I know that.
where are you going to be at? At the
Well, because I
spa?
always end up going over to that horse farm on Mondays, so I'm
Uh,
usually there Mondays, Wednesdays, so I'm gone those days.
um, yeah. That's what you call it, going to the horse farm. Is that
Yep.
name of that new fancy spa that's over there? You go over there and get your manicure and
Yeah,
your.
if you saw me, I don't go. If you saw my nails, you could definitely say Tar never gets a manicure.
Bye, John. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Tara, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll see y'all later. Have it.
All
Bye.
right, have a good day, guys.